Hello, welcome to my channel, The Ascension Guide. I'm your guide, Joe Martin. So for today's video, Ariah wanted me to talk about a little bit more of, I guess, what my purpose is in the future. And I know there's a lot of other people out there who are sort of getting these same messages and images, in their meditations or channeling sessions or however else they're getting messages. But I've already met some other people who've gotten the same information. And there's some things that I channel and I'm kind of hesitant to share. Everything's in the book that's going to be coming out eventually, but certain things with the YouTube channel I've kind of waited and sat on for a while to see, just kind of how people respond to things and whatever. But as I'm getting more comfortable with seeing people's reactions to things, and also other channelers are starting to channel things, so it makes it more me more apt to do it, to release some of the stuff that I've channeled. But anyways, one of the things that I've channeled since the beginning is about these buildings for the future. Some of you who have been following me or watched some of my interviews with other people have probably heard me mention them before. But one of the reasons that I wanted to get this message out today was to kind of see who else is getting these messages, to see who else is kind of getting these visions or messages about these buildings for the future. So let's talk about the buildings. These buildings were around during the Atlantean times. They are a dome-shaped building that look like a lotus flower. They kind of have these petals coming out around this dome-shaped building. This dome shape is going to be like a glass ceiling. In the center of this building, there will be a giant quartz crystal. The glass ceiling will allow the sun to go over and charge the crystal throughout the day. Underneath of the building, there will be water running. So back in the Egyptian times, or whenever the pyramids were in their full usage, one of the things that the pyramids did was they diverted the water underneath the pyramid so that it ran through, and the resonation, that vibration of the water running through, would resonate throughout the whole pyramid and create this healing vibration. And so that's part of it. So there'll be water running through. The whole building will be built with sacred, geometry. So these resonations will be able to fill the whole building. I mean, how do I say it? They've had me feel what the building's going to feel like. So you can feel the vibration. And for those of you who can feel crystals, it's going to be like a super intense, that sort of resonation vibration, almost like when you're at a concert and you feel that bass. But it's going to feel really steady and nice and calm and soothing. So anyways, within this building, each of those petals that I talked about around the outside for this lotus flower is going to be a different room that associates with a different chakra, will be the colors of that chakra. And there'll be different rituals that take place in this building, like plant medicine rituals, sound healing, group meditations, yoga, channeling sessions. There will be different types of music there. I've seen visions of like this crystal piano being played, so that sounds awesome. But so basically what these buildings are for, and there's not just going to be one, they said the end goal is eventually everywhere where the ley lines that run the universal, energy that runs over the planet, there's these, it's like a grid system, these ley lines, and everywhere they intersect, they want one of these buildings underneath. So these buildings they're multifunctional. So for the person who's going to go there, like I just mentioned, all the activities that are there, but it's also, it's for healing, it's for enlightenment, and you know, a place where people can come and not feel, you know, like I have about sharing this before, where it's, you know, a little apprehensive, where you're not sure how people are going to receive it. You know, we want open discussion. We want people to be able to think freely and, you know, express themselves freely and really, you know, become, you know, what humans are supposed to become. And by doing that is by figuring out what our capacity is throughout, you know, with no limitations. And we get there with having conversations where I can say whatever I want and don't have to fear, you know, shame or humiliation or whatever other fears that come up with saying things that might sound crazy to people. But that's where we need to head, is this open discussion of ideas and possibilities, and to see where this human experience can truly go without limitations being placed upon ourselves. Um, so this building will be all of that. It will attract people to, the way they described it to me is kind of, the idea. I mean, obviously we're trying to heal people and whatever else, you know, anybody who comes, but you go and someone comes in who's needs healing, and they go in there to get healed, and now they go start their own building. That's really the ultimate goal, you know. So it's like they showed me, like being a candle, and you know, a lit candle and other candles coming to me to get lit to go make their own building so that other candles can, so it's like a force multiplier type of thing. So it's very cool. This end goal, I'm assuming there's going to be, they've told me hundreds in the future. um, I've met a couple other people who have had the same visions, and the same drawings even of the building that I've seen and stuff. So what I'm curious is how many other people out there have gotten these same visions or ideas, and um, you know, has anybody taken any steps towards moving towards these buildings, or making them, or gotten any more information? Because it's interesting that I seem to get, you know, my little pieces, my little visions, my little blips, that they show me, little pieces to put together, and then the other people have kind of their pieces, and then we're kind of, you know, formulating this puzzle, that we don't have all the pieces yet. So just curious, to put this out there to see, you know, what kind of response I get. If you've had any visions of the building that I speak of, or any other buildings that maybe, because I know that during Atlantean times, there was a four-sided pyramid, a three-sided pyramid, and these dome-shaped buildings that we're talking about. And they all had their own kind of unique, characteristics and what they were used for. So if anybody's getting any visions of pyramids or anything like that that are supposed to be built, you know, let me know in the comments. I'm super curious, what the, you know, this whole, agenda is for everybody that we have, set before us. And I know that everybody kind of plays their own role and has their own part in this, bigger picture. So just wanted to see what's going on with that, let you guys a little bit, you know a little bit about what's to become in the, I don't know how far future. I know that they said in 50 to 100 years, there should be quite a few buildings. So however long they take, I know it's supposed to be pretty large in scale. Um, they kind of told me to think of it as like a church and a hospital in the same, but you know, I'm very hesitant to use the word church because there's no religious connotations, there's no dogma, there's no anything of that sort. Just the idea of people gathering and becoming more enlightened is, I guess, a better way to put it. And then as far as the, you know, medical side with the healing, you know, sound healing is going to be a huge part of the future. Telepathic healing, Reiki healing, all those things will be available there. And I think that a big part of it too is changing the way we think about healing, and the way, we are reliant on others to heal. So we can heal ourselves, as I've made a video before, and I can link that, down here. And this is a gradual progression. Don't stop taking medicine, or, you know, do what your doctor tells you for now, and work on this on the side. But we need to get to the point where we're not reliant on other people for healing. We need to get to the point, and that'll be in the distant future. You know, some people are probably already there. Um, but it does help, you know, when other people are there to heal and have that intention, but it's also the mindset too, right? So it's understanding that we can heal ourselves, and we don't need to be dependent on others, or dependent on a drug or this or that, you know, and understanding and changing that whole mindset. And I think that's part of what these buildings are too, is creating a safe space, so to speak, where people are free to speak their ideas and, transfer those thoughts and those ideas to others, where they can change their mindset that, we've been programmed for a long time to believe a lot of things that aren't true. Um, so, having a place where people can see it, firsthand, and feel it, experience it, and hear firsthand testimonies from others, and change people's mindsets and belief systems so that they can, be more empowered and take charge of their own life instead of being dependent on others, and thinking that there's always this need for an outside resource. And it's the same with the enlightenment. We're not here to say, oh, we're the guru and you have to come to us for these answers or whatever. It's, hey, come hear what we have to say. Here's our interpretation of the material that we've been presented. You do what you will with it. Then you go to another building. They have their interpretation of the, material presented to them. And, we all become more enlightened through that process of learning through others and, traveling throughout the country to these different buildings that'll be built and hearing everybody's different interpretation and perception of the information that's been presented, because that's one of the things that they said about these buildings is while they will all be very similar, everybody's kind of getting the same foundational ideas, I guess you want to say, but they'll all be unique in their own way too. They'll all have their own vibe to them, I guess, because what, my office and what my vibe is may not be what your vibe is, but it gets me to where I want to be, and it's going to vibe others that way too. And there's going to be buildings that I go to and they won't have that same vibe for me also. So everybody's going to have their own unique way of interpreting this. And that's awesome. That's what's great about, the human experience, is how we all have our own unique perspective and can put our own unique twist on these ideas and put them out there for the world to see. So very cool, very exciting. As always, if you got any value out of this, please like and share. It helps the algorithm, helps other people to, find the channel, get these messages out to the world, help people through this ascension process. And please subscribe if you haven't already. And like I said before, if you have seen any visions of these buildings or heard of other people talking about them, please let me know in the comments or send me an email. My email address is in the description as always. So thanks very much, everybody, for tuning in. Till the next video. Love and light.